Hello, 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 good morning. Okay, so let me just read out all the messages. Hey yo, can't sleep, so I'm doing some art and figured may as well pop into the stream, and that's Vivi. And I'm like, hell yeah, it's nice to see you, homie, drawing or rigging today. And then Vivi's like, drawing at the moment, planning to rig this one too, but I keep hitting the layer cap in Procreate. Not me also knowing Live2D has a layer limit for the free version, and I will not get to rig this unless I massively decrease the scope or pay for a license. Damn, homie, how complex is this, like, model that you're drawing? Like, damn. Like, does it have a lot of small details and you gotta put them all in their individual layer? Or... Like, I'm just, this is all Greek to me. Like, rigging, Live2D stuff, 3D animation too. I'm just like, what? I think I'm 55 layers over the Live2D free limit. Oh, damn. Hey, Inky. Hello, baby. Hi, Ika-chan. Hello, Yomi. How are y'all doing this morning? I feel like I really need this. I really wanted to stream since Thursday. You have no idea the self-control it took to not go live on like Friday and Saturday. It helped that like I was busy and playing video games with my friends, so yeah. And I also had a lot of, job search stuff to do, but this week I have been on a bit of an adventure. Okay, so I noticed the impulse to just like dive into the whole like marketing thing because I'm like, oh my God, I don't understand like marketing or how to attract people to my channel. But I know that a lot of this through experience, like I'm probably gonna learn it through like just trying stuff and messing up. So like might as well start that process. So I made a Twitter. I started posting more on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Discord, and just like all of the things. And it was interesting. The hands and arms have a lot more movement than I normally draw for, and the hair has lots of layers. I'll probably merge a bunch of the hair to cut down on the layer count. Oh, that makes sense. I really do like it when I see animated hair that has like a lot of different moving parts. Like the fringe moves independently from like the little bangs on the side. I don't know what to call them, but you know what I mean, like different hair bits. Adventure, you say? Yeah, I have been sailing, surfing across the World Wide Web, and it's been fun. I have met some really, really nice people, but it's also been a little bit intense. Like, I was kind of reminded why I uninstalled all of my social media apps when I started therapy. Because, like, okay, I kind of view it like, one more tool. Like, it can be good, it can be bad, it depends on how you use it. But, like, in my personal case, it makes me a little bit, like, judgmental of myself. Uh, so, yeah. I think that I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep posting, but I'm gonna limit myself. Like, I'm gonna limit how much time I spend on social media apps. And I think I'm gonna spend more time, like, creating versus like just posting stuff on the internet. Because like I've seen a lot of creators that are like, like and engage with this and like interact with my page to like ramp up their analytics and stuff. And like that's cool, but I don't think I'm that type of person. I just don't have the patience or the consistency with it. So yeah, I'm gonna be more of a I put stuff out there on the internet, and if it pops off, great. And if not, it's fine. I'll just keep making stuff and it'll pop off eventually. So yeah, learning a lot about myself this week, for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and put on the poetry music. Let's get this party started. I'm a little confused. Isn't creating about doing what you love, and if people like that, they like that? Yes, it absolutely 100% is. I was asking a friend of mine, like, I'm having so much fun with this streaming thing. And like, I'm really excited about a couple of ideas I have, a couple of projects I have in mind. But I need like a slightly bigger community to do those. So I'm like, how does one do that? Like, how does yo average creator on the internet get a bigger community? And they started telling me like, oh, you can do these things. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it a go. So I figured I'll try it. Like the core of what I do is always going to be just, I am one more bitch on the internet and I'm just doing what I love. But I wanted to give it a try. Yeah, I'm afraid to ask my V mama how many layers it took for my model and her outfits. Pretty sure it's a lot. I'm excited that you're excited. Thank you. Ooh, right. I just realized, Yomi, you're in the chat. And I realized I can do this from OBS today. So, hello. If y'all like sleepy ASMR streams with a fantastic, relaxing voice, Yomi is yo girl, yo moth girl, and Digigirl, hello, 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 another writing creator. We're gonna read your poetry in a hot second right now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me go ahead and switch to the right scene. We're setting the scene. Okay, so when I realized that like I was starting to feel a little bit of like the, you know, the self-judgment and the losing sight a little bit of what I'm actually doing here, this is what prompted it. This is the poem that like snapped me out of it and made me realize that I gotta get back on my bullshit. So, someone said this to me and it hit me hard. If you knew how difficult and long it took some people to recover their peace of mind and happiness, you'll understand why they shut all doors at any potential negativity, and also why they can be so selective about who they allow in their lives. And honestly, Yomi, this one also made me think of you because, you know, we were talking about, like, you know, networking and community, and you told me that you're really selective about, like, who you spend your time with. And I'm like, you know, I think I can learn something about that. So, thank you. Oh, thank you, Ika-chan. Just a heads up, we're reading Lord of the Rings later today. Hell yeah! So I have my entertainment for the afternoon sorted. Let's go. Love this old school black and white overlay. Thank you. I'll tell you a secret right now. I was thinking of making like my own overlay for the poetry stream, and I still might do that, but I got a little bit lazy with it, so I just grabbed the overlay that I've been using and put like a color correction filter on it. So yeah, that's what you're looking at right now. I also wanted to share one more poem before we get into Digiko's poems, which is one that I wrote. Sorry, this is a little bit edgy for right now. There we go. Which also made me think of like this whole social media adventure that I've been on. So this is something I wrote like about a week and a half ago, I think, when I was realizing that I needed a bit more time with just myself to just kind of rest and recharge and, you know, just curate my own vibes. So it's called Them. Some things I write will never be seen. I keep treasure close to my chest. People out there can be terribly mean. I am tired of them and need rest. Whether their thoughts are kind or sullen, it makes no difference to me. They can think silly thoughts all day long. It can't change the way that I breathe. Because, like, I've been learning this year that, like, human connection is something really important and something that I want more of in my life. So I'm learning the balance between spending time with other people and then spending intentional time with myself, because like there's a difference between being alone and like intentionally being alone, like doing things to rest and recharge and engaging in activities that you can only do alone. And for me, that's writing like specific types of poetry, among other things. So yeah. It really made me light up when you said a poem reminded you of what we were talking about. I will always be here to remind you that life is too short to pull yourself in too many directions. Do what you love and your friends will arrive, even if they're late sometimes. Yomi, that is beautiful. Like, seriously, homie, like I want to save that somewhere. We should make like a little quotes channel in like the Discord. I'm just gonna put this in our messages right now. A banger by Yomi, because like, yes. Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with me posting that in like the Discord? Uh, okay. Now let us begin with the submissions. Okay. So this is a website that I have spent so much time on throughout my life. Cat's out of the bag. I know what the fuck this is. So, our first submission comes from Tatiana Digiko. And these are, as far as I understand it, Digimon poems. So, I'm excited. I honestly don't have a lot of context for Digimon. I played like a few hours of a PlayStation 1 Digimon game, I believe, like many, many years ago. And that is it. Oh, that, and I used to have a toy, like the little pink bird looking guy. Yeah, I think it was a McDonald's toy from when I was really, really little. And it was amazing. Like, honestly, the quality of that plastic, so different from modern McDonald's toys. That wasn't supposed to be poetry. I was just talking, and of course, darling. Well, you know, some poetry is completely accidental, homie. I have more than 100 tabs of AO3 open in my phone web browser. VV! You're one of mine. That was actually one of the first things me and a friend of mine bonded on. We were at like a D&D game, and there was a little bit of a lull in it, like combat was taking forever, and I was reading a fic on my phone, and she kind of looks over at me like, yo, is that AO3? Like, I recognize the spacing, and I'm just like, hey! If there's a good pause in stream, can you tell me how to submit poetry for reading? I want to write something about you to read. Oh, really, Yomi? Thank you. Well, first of all, anything written counts as a submission. It doesn't have to be poetry. I am going to make a form eventually, but for right now, the Inky Discord. There's a channel in there called Submissions for Stream. You can just post it right in there, and yeah. Oh, Vivi, thank you. Thank you for being on that. Okay, let's begin. The first poem is called Crest of Light. Meeting you was everything to me. I remember the times we laughed, cried, and hugged one another. Do you remember, Gatomon? I know I do. I was sad when he died. You too. Wizardmon was a good friend. He saved us, me and you. We were both mad and sad, and you evolved. You were so beautiful, an angel of light. You are my light, my angel, my holy being. Even if we are apart, do not be sad. Remember all the good time we had, not the bad. Remember our friends, both alive and dead. Take my whistle and remember me. Do not be sad. We will meet again. Remember this as I go. You are my light, and I am yours. We are the chosen of the light. Homie, the music was a paid actor. That little crescendo at the end, like, yes. I like this. Honestly, like, it's got such a good flow. And the topic has actually been something that I have been thinking about recently. So I was talking with another VTuber on Twitter, and we were talking about this anime called Given, which is a BL about a boy band, but really it's a lot deeper than that. It's a really touching story about grief, moving on from grief, and how messy that process can be and how it can look kind of strange from the outside. And there's this one song in Given, Fuyu no Hanashi, which I love, and I've always wanted to sing it, but I've never been able to because I haven't been able to like project my voice and yell. I can't yell on command, just generally. But I gave it a go this past week, and I actually managed to. Like, I managed to yell on command, and a friend of mine was telling me that that's engaging my diaphragm, and like I'm doing this whole thing, and it's bad because like I feel like I can sing pretty okay for someone without training, but this is like starting from scratch. Like my voice is all over the place, but it's kind of exciting because like now I get to practice and get better at it. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, that was such a tangent. I don't have the context for like who Gatomon or Wizardmon are, but I can definitely feel the love and appreciation for them in this poem. It's nice. I do like the message of like, don't be sad because I'm gone. Remember the good times that we had. Like that's really pretty. Okay, thank you, darling. You are welcome, Yomi. Winter's Conversation is a beautiful name for a song. Oh, absolutely. Actually, Fuyu no Hanashi, I believe that translates to a winter's story. Or a story that was told in winter, something like that. Okay. Oh, is this a continuation of the Crest of Light? Crest of Hope. Okay, no, it's a separate poem. Okay. Crest of Hope. I'll miss your blue eyes, your soft fur, and that closeness that you'll always give me. You always give me that, and that closeness that you always give me. I'm not sure when we will see each other again, but I hope it is soon. Patamon, thank you. Thank you for coming back to me. When we battled Devimon, I was so scared. The others were losing, and we wanted to help so badly. And then he was about to get me, but you saved me. You saved all of us. I knew you could do it. And you did. You believed that you could. Look what happens when you have hope. Because of hope, you evolved. You saved us, but at a price. Please do me a favor and don't do that again. I would not be able to stand it if I lost you. I love you, Patamon, my angel of hope. Please don't cry, because if you do, then I will cry. How about we cry together? I promise we will see each other again. Just have hope. That's all you need. Because of hope, you evolved. You are my world, my best friend. Keep your hope up, because we will meet again. I love that consistent thread of like, yes, shit sucks, and like there's reflection, and there's like, I'm so sad that you're gone, like I want to cry about it, but still this thread of like, keep hope even throughout the bad. And like, I really appreciate that. Like the nuance, the dichotomy of it all. Your Japanese is getting better. Ah, thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. So proud. Maybe I'll spend a little bit more time on it. Hanashi translates to conversation, and Fuyu no means belonging to winter. Oh, so that's like Fuyu no Hanashi. Okay, cool. I thought we were talking about something completely different. Oh, reading one of Digi's works. Yes! Yes. Tatiana Digiko posted this in the Discord server. We were just talking about where to post submissions. Hanashi is from hanasu, hanashimasu. Ooh, I remember that from my mas lessons. To talk, speak. I actually really appreciate how Japanese conjugation works. Feel free to burst my bubble, but I did not get deep enough into Japanese to find any like weird irregular conjugations, irregular verbs, stuff like that. But in Spanish, we have a lot of that. It's like, this is the rule for conjugating verbs, and then these are 258 verbs that completely ignore those rules. Just memorize how to conjugate each one, and it's just like, fuck you, that's kind of hard. But in Japanese, everything I learned was just mechanical. And maybe they do have irregular verbs, but I don't know. So I'm living in this bubble of like, Japanese is grammatically simpler. I study Japanese and Spanish, so I very much understand the feeling. You get what I'm talking about then, Vivi. You know exactly what I'm saying. Okay, the next one is called Crest of Courage. And up here it says, the character is Taichi. or Tai. I never thought we would have to part. We had fun, didn't we? I remember when you evolved. It was scary. I'm sorry that happened. I never meant to make you like that. Skull Greymon. I don't think I'll ever get over it. Hey, at least we had help. That pink puffball was tough, though. Ha! Puffball. Do you remember that stupid boat? I can't believe we had to do that. I can't believe he made us go through that. We had to clean his hallway. Yeesh. But it was worth it. I wasn't afraid anymore. And you evolved. Not into Skull Greymon, but Metal Greymon. You are awesome. You know that. The adventures were fun. I enjoyed talking to you, helping you, eating with you. We've been through a lot. Evil Digimon, Myotismon, Etamon, the Dark Masters, Aploikamon. We are such a team. I will never forget you. You helped me realize when it means to be courageous, to a good leader. Remember me. We will meet again. My friend, Agumon. Homie, I want to know what the fuck happened. Like, can I read this story somewhere? Like, what? But also, I really liked poems that have this feeling. Because, like, okay, I am a sucker for some, like, alliteration, some metaphor, some, like, I don't know, my tears fall like glistening stars. Like, yes, give me that. But I also really like poems that they're just listing, like, mundane things or memories or things that happen that I have no context for, but you can kind of feel the emotional weight that carries. I think I said this in, like, the first or second poetry stream. There was something about a poem about a woman in a kitchen. But yeah, I'm really digging that vibe, homie. Held a message for a reason. Oh, sorry. There we go. Allow. Yay. Japanese does have irregulars, though it is definitely less than Spanish. Okay, so it's just a case of I didn't encounter them yet. That's good to know. I wonder if there's, like, a list of all the languages that have irregular verbs or conjugation and all the languages that don't. I wonder if there is a language that doesn't, because I feel like every language always ends up with, like, some type of exception. Okay, this next one is called Crest of Friendship. Thinking back, I wonder how I went through my life without you and your charm. You stayed with me when I was lost, when the darkness almost consumed me, when I thought I was alone. You didn't leave me when I told you to attack Agumon. You did what I asked, even though I was clearly wrong. Even now, as we sit in the light, all you ask for is a song that lets you see my soul. I would gladly play for you, only you, for this song is for you. You mean everything to me. Thank you, Gabumon. Thank you for showing me friendship. The friendship of one, the friendship of others, the true meaning of friendship. Ah, homie. I like this one. I feel like there's not enough art in the world in general. And maybe that's just a matter of me being in a romance bubble and not finding it. Like, I'm sure there is art out there, but I have not seen a lot of, like, platonic love as a subject. Like, friendship love. And whenever I find a song like that, I lose my fucking mind. I'm just like, yes! And now I have a whole playlist full of them. I've been collecting them. So yeah. This is really nice to read, and it's also making me a little bit emotional, because, like, my best friend the other day when I was playing D&D with everybody, I was writing poetry, and she just kind of grabbed my notebook, like, gently, like, I could have said no, like, I consented to her grabbing the notebook, and she wrote a poem about friendship, and it was so hard to not cry. I did tear up, but like, oh god, I teared up a little bit thinking about it. Um, I submitted some submissions I wrote just for you, Yomi. No rush, and thank you so much for allowing me to write about you, Yomi. Thank you for making me the subject. Like, oh my gosh. I'm over here tearing up because my bestie wrote me a poem, and now you write stuff like. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a moment. In terms of irregular verbs, I believe we only have two: suru, which is to do, and kuru, which is to come. Changes to shimasu, shimashita, and shita. Okay, so that would be like surimasu, or surimashita, or surimashita. I will ask you later, but like, thank you for the education. Also, can I give? No, I have not logged in, so I can't give kudos. I don't want y'all knowing my username. Okay, we have not reached that level of intimacy for me to give you my AO3 username. I'm just curious, like, how many chapters is this? These are bangers. Okay, so we'll do one more, and we can read another 5 in the next stream. Yeah. I'm glad we have lots of content here. So this one is called Crest of Love. You taught me so much. I don't know where to start. Thank you for making me see, for making me feel, for making me understand. I never knew what love meant until I met you. At times I acted like my mother, yet I complained about her. And that was a lot. You made me see, you made me understand that she told me things because she loved me, wanted me to be safe. I always thought she wouldn't understand, and there I was, doing the same thing to you. I understand now, because of you. So understand this, I love you. I always will. We will never be apart because we are in each other's hearts. Hearts so strong that love is born from the friendship we have formed together. So don't cry, Biyomon. We will meet again, maybe not now, or in a few months, or in a few years. We will meet again. For our love cannot be undone, for they are intertwined into one. Homie, the rhymes in this one go fucking hard. Like, yes. Oh, suru, shimasu, kimasu, kuru. Oh, I see what you mean now. Okay. Thank you. I see, because like it's like very different from the original word, like from suru to shimasu. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Like I said, I adore you, and I'm insanely picky with who I spend my time with, and you're a calm, cozy vibe through and through. Yomi! Is it like your mission to just make me blush every single stream? Because I think you might succeed. Okay, so thank you very much, Tatiana Digiko, for these beautiful submissions on friendship and Digimon, and I kind of want to know more about Digimon now. Like, honestly, this is inspiring. I might try playing that video game again. I don't know what it was called. I know it was on a PlayStation 1, or like a PlayStation 1 simulator, but it was so long ago. Like, I don't. Oh, 8 row? Oh, cool. I got an automatic ban. Let's go. No, my God. I thought I was always balancing on she's my creepy, weird fan. Yomi, no. Literally. Okay, like, I mean, y'all might not know this about me yet because I haven't had to do it yet, but like, I am very, like, okay setting boundaries. Like, I don't care. Like, if I'm ever uncomfortable with something, I have no qualms with just being like, no, like, stop that. So, no, don't worry. Like, if I'm not saying, please don't do that, like, you're totally fine. I promise. Okay. This next submission... Oh, sorry. That's not what I meant. Okay, sorry. I misunderstood then. But But I still think it's good to let y'all know, like, I am okay setting boundaries. This one is by Mango King. I believe he was the first person to pop in just randomly off Twitch during my first poetry stream. So, yeah, I'm really appreciative of that. It's a story that he was writing. From what he told me, he has a lot of experience with martial arts, so he wanted to write a story that had something to do about that. And also, I made a Wattpad account for the first time in my life for this because I didn't want the little bar at the bottom of the screen that said sign up. So, yay. Okay. Now, the question is, do I read this one in the accent as well or no? So this is a little bit poppy. Let's go to something more chill. Let's give it a go. If I get tired, I can always switch off. I think it's good practice, though. Look, I didn't start the fight on purpose. If you have ever been in a fight with someone, it is a terrifying feeling to experience for the first time. Sure, it's all fun and games until it really happens. In reality, fighting is dangerous, scary, and doesn't feel great when you can't breathe through a broken nose. Pause. I forgot. There is a trigger warning on this. For assault, I believe. Let me just check the Discord real quick. I just want everyone to be aware. Just scroll up. Okay, so trigger warning: 18 plus, depictions of violence, and sexual assault. I read through it. We don't go into details, but it is a component, so just be aware. Keep yourself safe. If you need to tab out, that is totally fine. Like I'm just being nice to you with words, and you take it as a compliment. It is, and I appreciate not treating me like I'm overpraising. Oh, yeah, of course, Yomi. No, thank you. No, thank you for clarifying. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, you've been genuine with me and consistent, so yeah, like I trust you in that way. Like, I have gotten comments from people where I'm just like catching a weird vibe, and when that happens, I just don't respond the way I respond to you. So like, yeah, I'm glad that we can have that mutual understanding. Okay, so I'll just start over. Look, I didn't start the fight on purpose. If you have ever been in a fight with someone, it is a terrifying feeling to experience for the first time. Sure, it's all fun and games until it really happens. In reality, fighting is dangerous, scary, and doesn't feel great when you can't breathe through a broken nose. If you have never been in a fight, my advice is to keep up the great work. Mainly, I'm talking to someone who has had someone ruin their day on a different level. I want you to picture breaking every joint in your opponent's body. Just wait until you've seen the guillotine choke. Personally, I like to see how my opponent bows their head while they gasp for air. Welcome. Hey, I think you'll fit in just fine with us. My name is Julie Khan. I'm 16 years old. If you asked me a few months ago what my favorite thing in the world was, the answer was already on my lips. Basketball, I would say, with my signature lisp. Did that make me easy to pick on? Absolutely. I was a chubby kid growing up. During the youth basketball league, I was dubbed Dumpling Defense. The nickname stuck. I was an overweight Cali girl who was just too tired to run across half court from defense to offense. One of the boys once told me how I was shaped like a ball with ankles and feet attached to it. I would try not to cry during practice, but comments like those stung me dearly. I made sure to never let my parents see me cry, breaking into a smile when they asked me how basketball practice was. I didn't quit because I still loved the sport. Names like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Karl Malone came to mind whenever I felt like giving up on basketball. The greats had put their time in for countless hours when no one was watching. I would be no exception. I was stuck with the team for the whole season. I had to put in my best effort, even if it didn't give me the results I always wanted. Things were fine that summer, until the last day of June, a Sunday. I was playing pickup basketball on the courts after service. Our church was ideal for extra practice on different courts. I squeezed in any hours I could to drill my form. The heat was uncomfortable as the players on the courts soaked sweat through the back of their collared dress shirts. Pastors, adults, and whoever else wanted to play would elect team captains to make it fair. I tried not to notice I was never picked first, but sometimes last. After discussion among the people playing, the team captains were chosen. 8 players made the split even, but it was never fair from the start. Hannah On and her father were the opponents that I felt the biggest threat from. If there was anyone who loved basketball more than me, it was Hannah and her family. When I visited their house, the basketball court in the backyard looked brand new. There were no uneven cracks in the ground, and clean white lines created distinct boundaries. When I eagerly asked Hannah if I could try shooting, she offered me her basketball to borrow, a leather Spalding she had received for her birthday. Hannah and I were best friends at the time. I had invited her when I first started attending the service as a form of outreach. She began to fit in faster than I did. Her easy temper, charismatic voice, and athleticism made her popular among the boys and girls. We hadn't hung out for weeks and only saw each other on Sunday, but on the basketball courts she had to pay attention to me. Mr. On was on the other team with Hannah. He was Hannah's father, at least 6 feet tall with slim shoulders and limbs. He moved with a long stride and covered distance quickly whenever he went to attack the basket. The sun glowered above the court. It was the hottest part of the day, between 1 to 3 p.m., and I would frequently wipe my brow from sweat as I played. A pass to the right, a crossover, then step back, fade away as Hannah scored. As we reset the ball, I grit my teeth. I would not let our team lose. It was already bad enough that they thought the teams were fair with such an obvious advantage of the father-daughter duo. I set a screen at the top of the key and bent my knees in anticipation of the impact. When Mr. On came at my screen, I made a slight adjustment in the movement. I moved my foot instinctively to brace for the impact, and to my surprise, he fell. When Mr. On got up, I was not ready in several ways for what happened. "You tripped me. You know you don't have to play dirty," Mr. On said. How silly, I thought to myself. "Excuse me? I don't have to play dirty to beat you guys," I said as I lifted my eyebrows and glanced at Hannah. Hannah smiled blissfully back at me. "I'm just saying you don't have to play dirty," the angry man repeated. Then my best friend's father made a motion I thought was pointing at the ground. The motion went higher. The sensation of his fingers on my body froze me. A slow, creeping horror crawled up my spine as I realized he had just groped me. Mr. On turned to walk away. "Why did you do that?" I blurted, my voice trembling. He continued walking. The ball was in my hands before I knew it. I threw it, hard, at his back. My heart was in my throat, but my voice was steady as I spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. "Are you some kind of pedophile? At church?" No one moved. Mr. On inspected the ball and tossed it to my feet, like he was flicking dirt from his shoe. The basketball rolled away and I hastily picked it up. I called him out for a one-on-one. I had Mr. On's attention now. His face was nearly purple as he loomed over me. My blood was boiling with righteous fury. This wasn't just a game anymore. I faked to my right and sprinted to the hoop. Mr. On used his height. He swatted the shot mid-air, the echo reverberating like a clap of thunder. Reset. I managed to rip the ball from his arms. I tugged, wrenching the basketball free with all my might. His grip loosened. Victory was mine. In the motion of passing to my teammates, I turned. However, my teammates' eyes were wide. They seemed to be looking not at me, but behind me. I felt it before I saw it. A hand grabbed at my waist. My body lifted off the ground. My heart shot up to my throat. The horizon shifted as I crashed to the concrete, pain shooting up my spine. The dusty air of the churchyard was like a haze around me. I am in danger. I would like to say that I looked cooler for my first fight ever, but all I managed was to pinch my ankles around his neck as we tumbled and wrestled on the hazy concrete. That brief exchange felt like forever, but it was enough for one of the people watching to pull Mr. On off. My own father had come to my rescue. I looked around at all the people watching. Hannah was nowhere to be seen, and Mr. On hung his head with his hand covering his face. A crowd had begun to gather as the church elders whispered among themselves with their hands covering their lips. "You better watch your back," I hissed at him as my dad pushed me towards the car home. Hell yeah, bro, that's an intense origin story. Like, fuck. That sounds like such an uncomfortable situation. Goddamn. Like, okay, every single response to this type of violence is valid. 100%. I've read a lot of media where, like, the default response to, you know, being attacked is the freeze response. And it is good to have that representation, but it is refreshing to see someone that, like, experiences that and fights back. So I appreciate that aspect of it. I think the writing flows really well. Like, I was not bored at any point reading this. I didn't lose track. And, like, I tend to have a little bit of difficulty reading sometimes because I just have to, like, go back and reread because I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened? But that's just me and my spice brain. It's not an indictment on the stuff I've read. But yeah, this, for me, was really easy to follow. So, yeah, I am curious to keep reading. I sent you a DM about trigger warnings. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Because yeah, this is the first time I'm handling a trigger warning. You might want to specify that it was sexual assault instead of sexual assault. Oh, okay, sorry. I did read out the Discord description. Like I said, the trigger warning was for assault, and then I went into the DM and then read out the whole trigger warning, which is, I can read that out again. Okay, so this story is 18 plus, depictions of violence and sexual assault. Yeah. Sorry, I must have missed that. Oh no, you're totally fine. I'm thinking for the next time I do a story like this, because like this is the first time I'm reading submissions, so we're all learning together. And I do apologize for not making it more clear. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to create little trigger warning stickers and then put them on screen on the stream so that anybody popping into the stream can see the sticker of like what I'm reading, like the trigger warning for that. And then when I'm done reading that, I can take the sticker off. Maybe a little like warning image on screen. Yes, we're thinking the same thing. Okay, amazing. I'm glad that we came to the same conclusion. Okay, so I apologize for anybody that, you know, caught off guard. But yeah. Okay, so that was Mango King's submission. Gosh, no worries, just didn't expect it. Oh, no, you're totally fine. I think this is just like a natural part of streaming, you know, like you learn as you go. There's just a little bit of an element of that to it. Hang on, I'm gonna take these tea bags out of my tea mug. Learning, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I have to suffer the consequences of hydration, so I will be right back, and then we will continue with, oh gosh, hang on, I forgot their name. I am terrible with names. With Starlight's submissions, SevStarlightVT. All the creators from today's streams will be credited in the description of the VOD. I know I can do that on YouTube. I'm not sure about Twitch, but if I can, it will be done. So yeah. Anyway, I'll be right back, homies. Hang tight. Alrighty, we are back. I'm learning too. Thank you for telling me that my overall volume was kind of low. Did a 100% plus gain on my mic for today's stream, so hopefully it will be much easier to hear at the same time as other apps. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! No, that's amazing. And yeah, I really like that goes both ways. Is like, you know, the thing with the trigger warning, like other stuff. I really appreciate having you know, people in the chat that can tell me, hey, like this can be better and stuff. Because like I'm very open to feedback. I'm also, oh, I made my cup whistle. I'm also very comfortable with fail. I don't know if you ever get like comfortable with failure, but I feel like I've had a lot of practice at it. Like I fucked up a lot of things in my life to the point where I've kind of gotten into the flow of like, you know, learning through mistakes. So yeah, we're all human beings and we learn and grow every day. So bless your understanding and not defensive as some. Yeah, because like there's just no point to it. It's like, okay, if I feel like someone does something with malicious intent, I have no problem defending myself. But when I'm confronted with something that's a little bit like, huh? I don't think it's productive to be defensive in most cases, just because like you don't get anywhere. I'd rather communicate and get clarity and clarification on like what is happening, and then decide how I'm going to respond. I don't feel in a rush, if that makes any sense, but I used to, so I understand the impulse to get defensive. I notice that impulse and move past it. Okay. Anyway, this next submission is by SevStarlightVT. We're just gonna call her Starlight. And honestly, I found this on Twitter, and it said Lovecraftian lesbians Sherlock, and I was like, yes. I mean, you had me at Lovecraft. Like I was curious at that point. You had me hooked at lesbians, so like yes, that's all you needed to say, homie. And I was like, yo, can I read this on stream? And she was very kind about like, yes, you can, absolutely. So yes, that's what we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna read a chapter. This is the thank you part of the book, I believe. And it's called A Study of Shadows. Dearest Dionysia, my most beloved daughter, How are you faring in the city? I know my lack of presence through the mail must be somewhat concerning given your recent circumstances, or so I've heard from the grapevine, but I hope the journey wasn't too treacherous. Have you met Mr. Baudelaire yet? Is he all that you expected? Or maybe a man had caught your eye? You are getting to that age, you know. I pray you've already begun by the time this letter reaches your grasp. I'm sure you're working diligently over a new case, slaving away and casting your heart into the embers of a well-prodded fire. But do remember that I am your mother, yes? The city can be harsh for a woman, particularly a woman alone. Remember what I taught you, and mention my name now and again. It couldn't hurt for publicity. All the best, your mother, Theodosia. Ooh, I'm getting Hamilton flashbacks, homie. Theodosia. I have an example from today. As you know, I make music, and one of my friends approached me and asked what programs I use since he wanted to try and record a cover. He thanked me so much for not gatekeeping, because apparently lots of VTubers do that with their own assets. Oh, really? That's interesting. Because, like, I've had the opposite experience, but I've been, like, in the Twitter VTuber community for, like, a week. But, like, I met Tatiana, and she's been, like, posting a bunch of VTuber help in the Discord, and Vivi and Spidey have also been very, very helpful. Just generally, like, people have just been telling me, like, what to do. And there's also YouTube videos made by different VTubers. It's like, this is how to grow your channel and, like, your community and stuff. So, yeah. But it's good to know that some people can be a little gatekeepy, so I'm not shocked by that, you know? Anyway, I thought this was like the thank you part of the book, but I think we're already in the story. So is Dionysia our MC? Mother knows best. Listen to your mumsy. Hell yeah. Fucking love Tangled. In return, he helped me with getting closed captions on my streams. Ooh. Oh, that's a good idea. I feel like closed captions wouldn't pick up a lot of what I say just because I speak in strange ways and do strange accents just from time to time, but it might be worth trying. Can I talk to you about that later, just to give it a go? Okay, Dionysia is our MC, and we're just gonna commit to that pronunciation, and if it's wrong, I apologize, Starlight. So, Chapter 1. In 1 month, at the wicked age of 17, Dionysia Peregrine had gone from living lavishly in a countryside villa with her mother to handing out papers on the grimy city streets of Pendleton with a newspaper boy's hat fixed on her natty blonde hair. She had been repeating the same phrase to herself repeatedly. Emotions do not serve a purpose in business, and that's the only thing I am here for. Papers here, she mumbled, but unfortunately for her, her edition was more than a month old, and frankly, no one had read the news as of late. Nothing interesting happened in Pendleton besides the occasional thief stealing more than 1 loaf of bread. That was what the press covered, anyway. A city like this held secrets that she was craving to uncover, but stealing bread was an easier topic than deep-rooted corruption. It kept people happy, and most importantly, calm. "Pipe down! You're ruining the street's decorum!" a voice chimed from beside her, coming from crossed legs upon the filthy sidewalk and a head of messy brown hair. His eyes, one soft blue with the other a deep brown, starkly contrasted the dreariness of the world around her. She did not hesitate to roll up the newspaper she held and bring it down on his head. He hissed, swatting her away and adjusting the glasses too small for his face. "I'm trying to help you on your little side job here." "I don't need assistance with a simple task," Dionysia retorted, upturning her nose and looking back toward the street. She had learned through experience that the best way to get him to hush up was a firm reprimand. much like what Isadora, their caretaker, did. But why do this when you have the florist gig available? The boy, aptly named Dorian Russell, ashamed that they shared the D sound, or anything for that matter, cocked a brow and looked up inquisitively. He nearly earned another swat of the paper, but ducked in time for it to whoosh over his brown locks. He popped his head back up again, frowning. "Let me ask a simple question, won't you?" But frankly, any questions were too taxing with her spiraling mind. A shadowed figure darted by her vision, and she slammed her eyes shut. "That place is drab, and far less interesting to look at," Dionysia responded simply, opening her eyes and unfurling the newspaper. "At least I have a semblance of fresh air on the streets, and something to keep my mind busy." A carriage with 2 perfectly tailored horses trotted by as Dorian formulated his response, something that wouldn't get him slapped a 3rd time. The hooves clopping nearly drowned him out as he spoke. "Why did you come to Pendleton of all places if you need a fresh air?" A sigh of exasperation huffed out from Dionysia's chest as she dropped the newspaper and moved back to sit against the building wall just behind them. "It's a place of opportunities. I just haven't unlocked them yet. It's a place of thievery and filth, much like you and me." Dorian paused, eyeing her curiously, and licked his lips. "But if you consider living on the streets an opportunity, then sure." "I had one. It just didn't go to plan." Dionysia scratched the side of her head and adjusted the hat upon her hair, which fell over her shoulder in a braid that one of the girls had tied up back in the factory. She didn't mind the new girl treatment so much, as she was so used to it at home. It was a pleasant, subtle remembrance in a whirlwind of possibilities. "Right, your irrational ass truly believed you could take the stage with Edwin Baudelaire," Dorian laughed, slapping his hands onto his thighs. "I thought I was delusional with my track record, but you, dearest, are far worse." "It's hardly a delusion. I come from a prestigious family. It only made sense that he'd be willing to hear me for a moment. It's hopefulness. A dreadful disease. Seen it before, detective?" He shook his head and slowly stood, eyeing the marketplace just down the street. "How about we use that hopefulness to get us some food for tonight, yeah?" Dionysia ran her eyes over the busy street, landing them on a fruit stand that they had visited once or twice. She was sure Dorian had gotten into trouble with it more than once, according to the stains on his teeth and the frequent smell of berries on his breath, but she didn't outwardly care enough to reprimand him. "Mr. Ingram has been glaring daggers at you for the past hour for merely being... Wait, hang on. I got lost. She was sure Dorian got into trouble with him once. Is this him talking or her talking? Okay, I think this is her responding, but I'm not sure. Of course, darling, anytime. Hell yeah, thank you. Dorian Russell. for merely being, so precious. Stop it. But don't. Okay, yeah, it is her. Dionysia ran her eyes over the busy street, landing them on a fruit stand that they had visited once or twice. She was sure Dorian had gotten into trouble with it more than once, according to the stains on his teeth and the frequent smell of berries on his breath, but she didn't outwardly care enough to reprimand him. "Mr. Ingram has been glaring daggers at you for the past hour for merely being within a mile of his stand." She sighed, adjusting her hat. "And judging by the state of his newly graying hairline and crinkled forehead, I can't say he seems thrilled with the prospect of dealing with us. Dorian grinned, standing and dusting himself off. Afraid of a little nanty-narking, dear? Dionysia rolled her eyes so hard that they might have stuck upwards before pulling herself to her feet. I refuse to take the fall for you this time. Of course, he bowed slightly. Ladies first. Okay, so we have a little page break. That is one aesthetic looking page break, homie. Like, wow. Where is Starlight getting, like, her fancy letters? Because, like, this letter at the beginning, too, just beautiful. Honestly, it, like, elevates it. Thinking of submitting a poetry thing, but worried my handwriting will be hard to read. I mean, Vivi, I will do my best. I would love to read your poetry personally, and like I don't mind going over it a few times until like I get it down. I could always ask you too if you're in the chat, just like, yo, what is this word? But I think we'll be fine. Like, yeah, I'm pretty good at deciphering handwriting. Your reading voice is so calming. Oh, thank you for saying so. I appreciate that, homie. I think it would be a great thing to do, even if the handwriting isn't perfect. I would love to hear it. Yes, exactly, homie. Besides, in my experience, people's handwriting are never as bad as they think it is. I say this for myself, too. I used to be for the longest time like, oh my god, my handwriting's awful. And like everybody was like, what do you mean? Okay. Mr. Russell, a voice formally greeted the ratty-looking boy. The man stood behind a large display of bruised and battered fruits. Dionysia stood behind the larger frame, taking solace in the fact that he would likely take the harshness of the blame if anything were to go wrong. Mr. Ingram, a pleasure to see you again, Dorian spoke. His voice as smooth as freshly churned butter or an expensive whiskey. Okay, I went for a totally different delivery there. Mr. Ingram, a pleasure to see you again. Bit better? Dionysia decided the whiskey was the likeliest of the two, seeing as his rendezvous always had an uncomfortable aftermath. As you know, we're faithful customers of yours. Right. The man's harsh accent rang out in Dionysia's ears. She hadn't realized how posh she sounded until she met the street folk of Pendleton. Last time, you tried to weasel your way into some free grub. Mr. Ingram leaned forward, gripping his stand with his bulky hands and narrowing his black, beady eyes at Dorian. Ain't happening again. Dionysia watched as Dorian signalled with his hand clasped behind his back. She couldn't quite decipher what he was saying, so she tilted her head and stared, much to Mr. Ingram's dismay. He growled and took an apple from his stand, slamming it into Dorian's hand. Take this and leave, and if I ever see you or your friend again, next time I'll be signalling the cops. He spat, leaning back and crossing his arms over his pudgy torso. She swore she saw Dorian shake as he cleared his throat and nodded. Of course, never again, Mr. Ingram. He turned toward her, gave a wink, and slunk away into the crowd of people forming at the hub of the marketplace. She groaned, pursuing promptly. Too many times had Dionysia been lost in the city crowds thanks to Dorian's weasel ways, and she had barely been here a month. You've got to stop running away, she slung as she approached him, grabbing his arm to stop him from walking. Only then did he pause, rolling his eyes as he bit into the apple. You've spent enough time here to know that everyone has their specialty, and mine so happens to be fleeing. You think running away from a fight is a good thing? Dionysia let go of his arm abruptly. Better than nothing, like someone I know, Dorian hummed quietly, but his eyes fell from hers and locked onto a stranger passing by. She could only watch as he slid a nimble hand into the woman's pocket and removed a black-stained leather wallet. with what one would assume was grace, except he had just pulled a large weight out of one's pants, like an idiot. The woman turned around to see the wallet clamped between his grimy fingers, and her eyes widened. She snatched it out of his hand and grabbed his collar, tugging him forward and causing his patched-together boots to scrape against the ground. "I pray you did not just do what I think you did, boy," she spoke raspily, the breath of a smoker smellable from Dionysia's distance. I'm going to try that one again. "Oh, hi, Nerdarine! Hello. It is so nice to see you in the chat. How are you doing today, homie? How are you feeling? I hope you're enjoying the reading." Nerdarine is a writer, also a writer of like this variety. I'm good, vibin' and thriving. Amazing to hear, homie. Yeah, we're gonna write some poetry in a little bit, but right now we're reading submissions, and this one is from Starlight. I'm gonna be crediting, as always, like all the creators in the description of the VOD. So if you like anything you see, yeah. "I pray you did not just do what I think you did, boy," she spoke raspily, the breath of a smoker, smellable from Dionysia's distance. "Afraid I don't know what you're talking about, miss." Dorian's voice had grown shrill with fear, cracking mid-sentence. "I'll give you a 10-second head start, and if you haven't disappeared into the crowd by the time I'm finished, I'll call the guard. Understood?" The woman loosened her grip on Dorian, sending him stumbling to his feet and dusting himself off quickly. Without hesitation, and before the first number even left her mouth, he sprinted off into the crowd, leaving Dionysia alone with the woman. "I don't know him," she attempted to ration. The woman looked her dead in the eyes. 10. And with that, Dionysia set off into the crowd, hot on Dorian's trail. I mean, I love this. Like, I fuck with this. Like, the flow, again, very easy to follow. Like, yeah. I like that it has, like, really extensive vocabulary, but it doesn't feel, like, super posh, if that makes sense. Like, it's very easy to understand. It doesn't feel like it has, like, gratuitous vocabulary, if you know what I mean. I love the descriptiveness. Yes, absolutely. The descriptions are amazing. Like, I can see all of this happening very, very easily. And honestly, I'm excited to read some more. Like, I'm gonna ask Starlight if it's okay, because I only asked about one chapter. But if I can read some more, like, I'll be reading some more next stream. Absolutely. Also, if y'all would like to read some more of this on your own, I did post the link in the Discord because it was shared publicly on Twitter, so it's like out there on the internet. So yeah, if you'd like to know what happens next with Dionysia and Dorian, yeah, that's what's up, homie. So let's see, how long have we been streaming? Let's do a little bit of what we usually do, which is, you know, reading the poetry I've been saving from the Instagrams. And then we'll get into our writing section. Now, which was the last one that I read on stream? Oh, this is the one I was talking about the kitchen, which kind of reminds me of Tatiana Digiko's poems. Actually, let's just read that one. And I'll open this so I remember to put it in the description. Maybe love is not the guy who gives you a stomachache. Maybe love is Maybe love is soft and slow and smells like cinnamon bread. November. Maybe it's the car ride after the movie. Obsidian sky. Jazz music. Hand on yours at a traffic light. Or maybe it's the kitchen. Cutting board. Hands close to each other. Pears. Cheese. Wine. And maybe love is not the guy who doesn't keep his word, runs the station for trains that never come, can't trust a thing he says. Maybe love is, hey, I'll go with you to the doctor. And I made a reservation at our favorite restaurant, and I like looking at you in the lamplight, moonlight, daylight, and maybe love is in the bookstore, morning coffee, mundane trips to the grocery store, and holding you at the funeral, and washing produce on a Sunday, decorating your Decembers, stuffing the stockings, and the house smells like chocolate, pine, and secrets, exchanging them in the dark, showing them the constellation between the scar and who you want to be, and sitting at the kitchen table, mental note, their eyes are hazel in the sun, and you write a poem just to say the same thing, a different angle of the same tessellation. I love you. I love you. I've never felt so safe. J. Poems in LA. I fucking love this poem, homie. Okay. Okay. There's so much I love about this, but specifically, hang on, something hit me really hard on this read through. Where's the one about the scar? Homie, where is it? Oh, showing them the constellation between the scar and who you want to be. That fucking hits, homie. Like, yes. I love that way of thinking about it because, you know, they say break down like the distance between who you are and who you want to be into like manageable steps, and like thinking about it as a constellation is so beautiful. Poetry reading. Untrustworthy people drive me batty. Oh, damn, what happened, Yomi? Like, what up? Like, did something go down? Okay, so we've read these ones. Submitted my poetry thing out. Need to figure out how to turn off Twitch auto emotes for cow emojis. Oh, nothing. The poem talked about that. Oh, got you. Like, yeah, maybe love is not the guy who doesn't keep his word. Like, yes. Yes, absolutely. Twitch auto. Yes, because like I do like to do that, like use the 2008 emotes just with, you know, colon and brackets. Brackets? Is that what you call them? Like the smiley face thingy? I didn't know you could turn it off. Like, I'm gonna be looking that up later. I have read this one too. Okay, I think this was the last one that we read. Or no. This was the last one that we read. Okay. So we're gonna start with this one. Although I kind of want to keep going with the submissions, but I haven't prepared them yet. Let me just take a look at what y'all posted real quick before we keep going. Also, what? Oh, homie! Homie, you made art! Oh my god! Oh my god, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, I could open this on Chrome, right? Copy link. Can I, or hang on. There's a way to open this in a browser. Okay, it's opening it in the wrong browser. And this one, oh, homie. Okay. Yes, I will be reading these instead of the Instagram ones. ちょっと待ってください. Let me just get a Google document for Yomi's submission. YomiEndoko's submission. And we'll put this one over here. Okay. Can I copy this? Copy text. Yes. I'll put that in there. And then in a separate page, we will put the next one. Okay, copy text. I do like doing the Instagram thing, but I would much rather share y'all's poems. Okay. Let's begin. Dun-dun-dun. Poem for Ika-chan, sincerely from Yomi. I'm excited. Okay. Sometimes I feel like a cracked bowl, leaking ink, just like you. But maybe cracked things are still enough to hold something. A bit of light, a few drops of hope, a single trembling flower pushing through black soil. The dark hums louder when we're alone, doesn't it? Sometimes it wraps itself around your ribs like a python, squeezing so tight you forget how to breathe. But I'm here, and I'll remind you, softly, gently, inhale, exhale, repeat. Ika-chan, there's ink on my hands too. It spills when I think about how small I am, how ugly my voice sounds on recordings, how I never quite say the right thing when I want to make friends. It spills when I look at myself and see a patchwork of not good enoughs, stitched together in the shape of a person. Does your ink feel like that too? But maybe we are not failed creations. Maybe we are living drafts, written and rewritten, crossed out and corrected. Doesn't a poem have meaning even when it's messy? Even when the lines are smudged? You are not a lost cause. Even when your mind whispers it to you, the ink lies. You are not too broken to be loved. Even when your hands tremble with shame and you can't meet the mirror's gaze, sometimes the weight of it all makes you feel like sinking. Would be easier, but if you sink, you'll miss the soft things. The way mushrooms glow faintly in the dark, the way poetry can feel like a hug, the way you make others feel seen, even when you can't see yourself. There's a kind of courage in still being here when everything screams at you not to be. A kind of art in simply existing when the world feels like sharp edges. Ika-chan, we are not perfect, but neither is the forest, and still it grows. Even the fungi that drip their ink into the soil help something else to live. You are helping others live just by being here, even if you don't feel it yet. Stay. Stay for the poems you haven't written, for the days you haven't loved yet, for the chance to prove the ink wrong. You don't need to be a perfect voice actor or a perfect creator or a perfect anything. You only need to be you. And even on your worst days, that is enough. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Homie, I don't know if you can tell, but I've been fucking crying for a second here. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. Yomi. Oh my god, the music is definitely helping this along. Like, oh god. You know, there's this expression that I've seen since I've started reading poetry that's like, to be loved is to be seen. Like, holy fuck, I feel that right now. Like, oh my god. I feel like you just stared into my soul and you wrote such a beautiful poem. Like, this is my favorite poem now. Like, I'm gonna read this every day. Sorry for the long text. How dare you apologize for this? Hearing the emotion in your voice is making my eyes get all wet. Little crybabies, aren't we? Yes! I'm happy to know that I'm not alone in this. Like, I didn't think I was gonna cry on stream, like, ever, but, like, oh my god. The third poetry stream. Here we go. This day's gonna go down in history. Glad you realize I see you, darling. Print it off and slap it on the comfort wall. Literally, this is going on my mirror. I didn't think I was gonna cry having you read it. Like, oh my god. And there's another one. God, I am both scared and excited. Also, when did you write this? This is so good. Like, I mean, I already know that you're amazing at writing because like your streams be amazing, but like, oh my god. Okay, hang on. I need a little bit more tea, and then we can read the next one. That is so beautiful, Yomi. You have a way of stringing together words that convey what you're saying really well and with such good emotion. Yes, Vivi! Absolutely! Wrote the first one yesterday and the second one today. Oh my god. This is such an inspiration. I want to learn how to write such beautiful poetry for other people. It's like it feels so special to have a poem written about you, and like I would like to do that, to put that into the world as well. Like, oh my god. Okay. I'm ready for the second one. Ika-chan. Your ink tells stories, even when it spills. Even when it stains your hands black, and you don't know how to clean it up. Your ink is a map, messy, winding, full of places you're scared to visit, but maps are only useless if you stop moving. Sometimes I think about disappearing too. The idea of it feels like a soft, quiet thing, like slipping into shadows where no one will notice. But shadows need light to even exist. Ika-chan, you told me once you felt like a hollow thing. Just a mushroom cap rotting on damp earth. But mushrooms are the lungs of the forest. They grow from the decay and breathe life into what's left. Without them, nothing would thrive. Can you see it? You are not a hollow thing. You are the lifeline for things you can't even name yet. The ink whispers lies, but here's the truth. The moon is cracked too. It hides behind clouds, pulls all tides, makes us believe in impossible things. People still write poems for it. People still love it. The ink on your skin and the cracks in your voice don't make you unlovable. They make you real. And maybe you don't believe me, but here's a clever little truth. You've written your way through this far. And if your ink can spill and shape something beautiful out of your fears, then that same ink can write the ending differently. You're still here, still dripping ink, still smudging it across the page, still breathing. Ika-chan, you told me you thought you were running out of time, but here's the twist. You're the one holding the pen. Homie. I'm crying again, goddamn. Oh. You do write beautiful poetry. Thank you. Of course, Yomi just being honest here. Don't test me. I'll write an entire novel series about you if you keep being so sweet. Homie, how will I ever recover? I'll just never stop crying. You said this would be more calm, Yomi, yet all I feel is more emotions. Literally! Like, my god. I have like a veritable storm swirling inside of me right now. Like, oh my god. But like in a good way, Like, I like the feelings. Like, they're good feelings, but oh my god. It's intense. I feel like I keep saying oh my god a lot. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna sip on my tea and process, because whoa. It's Okay, so like you know that feeling when like you get embarrassed because like someone saw you do something embarrassing. It's like that, and like my body is expecting like some type of something to hurt, but it's like I'm getting hugged instead. Like this is like the biggest hug to my heart, and like I don't know how to react to that. Like feeling exposed and embarrassed or judged, I'm used to that. Like that's normal to me, but feeling exposed and seen and appreciated, like what the fuck do I even do? That's kind of the vibe right now. I thought it was calmer in comparison. I mean, I don't know. I can't analyze them at all yet. I'm just like, just in my feelings about it. Beautiful babies. I am so brain rotted. Anytime someone says storm, I can only think of epic. Well, VV, I have something to share with you. Brace for a storm. I'm actually thinking of playing Valorant tonight with Spidey on stream and just like singing random epic lyrics to people in the lobby until someone responds. God, now I'm scared to write about you. I feel so bad you're crying. No, Yomi! Yomi, they're good tears. Like seriously, I'm not the type of person that like doesn't like crying. I struggle to cry. Like it's not easy for me to cry just generally, which is why I'm kind of shocked that this happened live. But it's good. It feels like a release of emotions, and I'm seriously so happy right now. Oh, judge me for writing it about you then, instead of feeling embarrassed. Oh no, like I'm not embarrassed about this at all. I just feel so happy. Like seriously, I will print these out the second I get off stream and like pin them to my mirror. I don't even know how to say thank you, just eternally. Thank you. Storm! As long as they're the happy kind. They absolutely are. Just keep being you, darling. I will, Yomi. Thank you. Okay, one more sip of tea. And now, Vivi's poem. So, Vivi, you have to message me later on the Discord. I want to know what to credit. Like, I saw that you have the commission thing on Fiverr. Would you like me to put that as your credit? Or like, do you have a Twitter, like your Twitch? Like, what would you like me to credit? Please let me know, and I will put it in the description of the VOD. I can also put multiple things. It doesn't have to be one. Okay. Disassociated. Sometimes it's easy to get lost in nothingness, to succumb to the numb, unthinking state, easier than giving attention to reality, at least. The past, too painful to go back to. The now, too lacking and full of pulls to before. The future is yet to come, is yet to be a place to get lost in, yet to be the lacking now, yet to become another part of the painful past. Many days of the past are lost to nothing, jaded into forgetting because I was forgetting the past. Yet days lost become fewer, and in the future will surely become even fewer still as the past passes its hold to the future, to allow me to live in the now. I really like this. I like the way that it like twists back and forth. Because like at the beginning it's like past, present, future. And then this last part, like the many days of the past are lost to nothing, like it starts to mix and twist and go back and forth, and that's like what the experience really is. Like I don't know if that was your intention, but I'm getting like this really clear distinction between like what we, like the way that we think of the past, present, and future, and the way that we actually experience time, which is like not in a linear way at all. And it actually is making me think of like this really cool quote. I can't remember the quote exactly, but it spoke about how the past, when you get stuck in the past, that's basically depression. And when you're too stuck in the future, that's anxiety, but like present, the present moment, the only real thing that we actually have, like that's mindfulness. And like that's all well and good, but like we're never gonna be 100% in the moment always, even if that's better for our mental health. Like we're gonna be in like this twisting little ball of yarn of it all, you know? Whoa, this handwriting is banging. Seriously, I was gonna say, like, you can really tell that, like, you're an artist because just, like, the swooshies and stuff and the inconsistency of it is just, it's beautiful, homie. I love looking at this. I really don't have all too much social media, I won't lie. Either my Fiverr or my Twitch here, I guess. Fiverr and Twitch it is. Hi, Inky. Hello, Mango King. Hi, how are you doing today? We read the first chapter of your story, and we learned something about trigger warnings in the process. I'm gonna make little stickers so that I can keep reading content like that, but like I want the sticker to be on the screen while I'm reading it, just in case somebody pops in the middle of me reading it, you know? Because like even if I give the trigger warning before, you know, it's good to have like that sticker on there. So yeah. Thank you for improving my stream. And it was interesting. I want to keep reading it. I was going to ask, are you cool if I read like another chapter of your story for like another poetry stream? Because I only read the first one. Jaded is meant to be faded. No, I do not know why I do Fs like that. Oh, okay, hang on. Let me read that part again. Hang on, where was it? Oh, goddamn. The fast. Oh, okay. Many days of the past are lost to nothing, faded into forgetting because I was forgetting the past. Okay, there we go. Fun fact, my handwriting was so bad, I never got my pen license. What is a pen license? Sorry, BB, I've never heard of that before. I love that you reply to poetry with breaking it down. Very insightful, and you're a smart pants. Oh, thank you, Yomi! I know fuck all about poetry analysis. I will say that right now. I am a newcomer to this space, so my analysis is pretty much just like what the vibes I'm getting, what it makes me think of. So just so you know. Like, if you're looking for someone who has read poetry their whole life, it's not me. It's probably not gonna be me, because honestly, Shakespeare, I get bored, I'll be honest. You can read another chapter on another stream. Hell yeah, thank you, Mango King. And I'll be crediting everybody in the VOD, so if you hear anything that you're into, all creators will be in the description. You would have fooled us all. You speak as though you've done this your whole life. Like my whole life. I mean, thank you. I feel like I've been like not reading or participating in like the poetry space, but like I've been kind of poetic my whole life in the way that like I have a very, at the same time, metaphorical and extremely literal way of communicating. But people have responded with like, oh my god, that's so intense, or like, I don't know what the fuck you mean, so I stopped doing it externally. And like in November, I read a poem by a friend of mine from India, really cool guy. And in the moment that I read the poem, I'm like, this is really good, but I also feel like hear the whole story before you judge what I'm about to say. I was also like, oh my god, it's kind of cringy. And then I'm like, wait, why do I think that? And I'm like, I like it. Like, I want to make stuff like that. Why do I think it's cringy? And then I realized that I was really judging that part of myself, and that was extending to my friend, and I didn't want to feel that way towards my friend, so I deconstructed that, and in that process started writing poetry, and that's just how it all came out. And since then I've honestly been just browsing poetry on Instagram, and that's yeah. Oh, here is Australia. Oh, we get a pen license in grade 6 or so. We have to take handwriting tests and everything. And technically it's not legal for me to use a pen to write on legal stuff, but legit no one enforces that law. That's wild. A license to write? Like, wow, I've never heard of that before. Okay, so it was whole life. Okay, cool. And yeah, I love hearing you break down the poetry and give your insights into it. It adds another perspective and allows new avenues to explore other creations, which I adore. Oh, thank you, Yomi and BB, like that. Thank you. All the feedback is very good for me to, like, you know, keep improving the stream. And really, you're making me feel free to keep expressing myself in this way. And yes, the old fable of transference happens to the best of us. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like seriously, y'all submitted some beautiful works of art today. Like honestly, just blown away. And I feel like I really needed this. Like I really needed a second to like connect with other artists and stuff. Because like as I was just saying about my friend, like I can be kind of judgmental about my own stuff, but I don't extend that same judgment to others. And that kind of like wakes me up a little bit of like, oh, I should treat myself the way that I treat my friends. So thank you. You are free to express yourself however you want. Well, the way I want is like this. I want to be a mushroom on the internet, writing poetry and reading poetry and like, yes, and playing video games. Okay, I have stuff to work on today. So first off, I want to show you something that I wrote that I'm actually really proud of. This poem, it just kind of ripped itself out of me. Like it took a second to come out, and oh, we have Mango King's poem here. I'm gonna save these in a separate document when I'm done here. Okay, so we've done Seabed, Hide, Apple Crumble, and Rudder. These have all been pasted into the channel where I then turn it into like those aesthetic little Instagrammable images. So this is the first finished poem that I want to edit today. Internet mushroom girly all the way. Exactly. So this one is called Process, and it's literally about the healing process. So I'm going to read it in my fancy voice. Process. Healing is cleaning with a dirty rag. Scared of being labeled as a drag, I hide sharp things inside my bag. Spilled milk begets a game of tag. Streaks of grease I could never erase. New horizons beg me not to stay better than I was, yet forever stained. Learn to be grateful rather than complain. Longing to be sterilized, it takes me time to realize some wolves wear a sleek disguise so a younger me can sympathize. I tried harsher chemicals, propped sick people up on pedestals, running at their beck and call, the hell of being flexible. Oblivious to the life I annihilated, my naivete was easily baited. I flounder, deeply frustrated. Will my pain forever be negated? Whirlwind in a bottle, ready to pop. Pools of dark liquid expand as I rot. I start to identify things I am not, allowing a moment to finally stop. Am I punishing myself? Trading outside validation for my health, unaware of my irreplaceable wealth? Such juvenile actions belong on the shelf. At last, I know better. I want better weather, build up strength, release my tether. My imagination can flow unfettered. I love it when the music lines up and it feels like it's just part of the vibe. Longing to be sterilized hits hard. Wow. Yeah, I was literally thinking about like the times in my life where I've thought like I wish I could just bleach my feelings. I start to identify things I am not. Dang, you're such a wordsmith, Ika. Thank you. I'm actually really proud of this one. Because like there's some poems where I'm just like, okay, the words I picked and the order I picked are kind of mid. But there's other times where I write and I'm just like, this is kind of a banger. And like this is one of those cases. Honestly, like I'm reading through it and I don't know what the fuck I want to edit. Like it doesn't happen often, but sometimes I'll write a poem and I'll just be like, I just want to leave it as it is. Even when I use like filler words and stuff, I feel like they still serve a purpose of like transmitting the emotion, because if I have more or less filler words, it can like change the speed at which I read the verse. Because I am an unstructured poet. Okay, so the past 2 weeks, you know, a couple people brought up like iambic pentameter and this other stuff, like structured poetry. And I did some Googling, I watched some YouTube videos, and I'll be honest with y'all, I got bored. I don't know, like I was looking up examples of structured poetry and it just did not hit me as hard emotionally as other stuff does. No shade to anybody who likes structured poetry, like I totally support y'all. It's just not for me, you know? And it's not really something that I aspire to write. That could change. Maybe over time, I'll see something different, like some benefit or fun in making something more structured. But for now, I'm just like, I like what I'm making, and I like what I'm reading. And I'm going to stick with that for a little bit. But if anybody ever wants to tell me, like, yo, this is the reason why I like structured poetry, please do tell me. I'd love to hear a different perspective. I like that you rarely use words that I consider above me. Hell yeah. I mean, honestly, okay, so I do like some big words, I guess, like, you know, like condescending or whatever. I mean, I guess that's not like such a big word, but like, you know, like I do like words. But I feel like poetry, at least for me, is about, I have this feeling and I want to communicate it. I'm not trying to be like super flowery with it. I'm just trying to use words that fit. And I like it being more, like, accessible. Like, to people that just, like me, that haven't read a lot of stuff with big words, or people for whom, like, English isn't their first language. Like, yeah. I like things that can be accessed by more people in general. Okay. So I think I'm going to read through it again. I'm surely didn't realize some moles are a slight disguise so younger me can sympathize. I really like the way it flowed together when I was reading it though, like out loud. Honestly, the most frustrating thing about writing poetry in public is that if I start speaking it out loud, like when I'm super dramatic and extra, like people will look at me funny. It's not like that I majorly care about that. It just, I don't know. I don't want to be a nuisance in public. That's why I really like writing poetry outside, but on the beach or in the forest, because there's no one around me. And if they are, they just pass by really quick. Or they're out there walking their dogs and they're focused on their dogs and they don't really care about this weird witch in the forest just reading poetry. It reminds me of the other day, my partner called me vapid, and since I don't know what that meant, so I Googled it, and the Google search said it meant incapable of having depth, but he immediately was like, no, I meant you're dumb in a cute way, not simple-minded. In short, that's when I learned we all use the same words to mean different things. Oh, absolutely. Like, language is so interesting to me. I heard somebody say one time that like 80% of our brain is exclusively dedicated to language processing. I don't know if they were full of it or if that's actual science, but either way, I believe it. Like, I can see a world where that is the way that it works because, yeah, it's literally how we connect to one another as a species. And, like, yeah, it's such an integral part of our society, our communities. Context can entirely change how a word's meaning is perceived. Yes. Not just context, but also like tone, speed. I've noticed that, okay, so y'all know that I'm on the spectrum. And it does make things like tone a little bit of a struggle to me, but the way that that's manifested is that I'm a little extra with it. Like, I over gesticulate. I over express myself. It's why it's so easy for me to do like the silly voices when we do Spiritfarer streams, because like I like to do that type of thing. But yeah. Okay, I have something else that's kind of messy. I don't know where I want to go with this yet, but it's just kind of a ramble right now. This one is just straight up weird. I feel like this is a sci-fi-ish poem of mine. Because, like, if y'all were here for that one stream where I was talking about the book that I'm reading, it's talking about how we are supraorganisms, like the non-human organisms in our body, specifically in our gut, outnumber us. Like there's 100 trillion or so living organisms in our guts that are influencing our decisions, mostly in relation to like what we eat, but the way that that manifests is through emotion. Because like they can't literally like make us think thoughts, but they can make us feel feelings because of like hormones and like information highways in the body and la la la. It's a really good book. If anybody wants it, let me know. It's on Spotify as an audiobook. But yeah, so this kind of came out of it. So I don't know what this is as far as poetry goes, but like, okay, we're gonna read it. We're gonna see. Home. I am a supraorganism, a colony, a vessel. Microscopic beings outnumber me in a body that was never mine alone. As the captain, it's my responsibility to build them all a more hospitable home. I am one star. In the galaxy that is humanity, I need no moon, for I am not a planet. But I'll shine for you as I burn for my own dreams. I feel like it's unfinished. I feel like it's rough. But it's a thing that exists now, and I don't know what to do with it. Spectrum is wild. I find my confidence in being not confident. Hell yeah, homie. I mean, if that's what works for you. I am very much like something I really appreciate about myself and the process that I've come through is that I've become a lot less judgmental in that I don't think anybody should do what I do necessarily. I think everybody should just find what works for them. And it's made it a lot easier for me to connect to other people because I'm no longer thinking like, wait, should we be doing the same thing? Should I be doing something different? Should you be doing something different? It's like, nah, we just fucking vibing. Like, do you feel comfortable with the decisions you are making? Then great, I support it. That's all I need to know. You know? I have very diminished body language. I can be smiling, but it doesn't show. So my voice has become super expressive to make up for it. That's really interesting. See, I like to get that different perspective on like similar struggle, but like different solution. And I feel like I don't know, it's probably really telling of like who we are as people and like how our brains work and stuff like that, but I don't know how to analyze that, so I'm just like, that's cool. We just do. That's simple. Yes. I definitely have a thing for like overcomplicating stuff. But I love that these two poems are now next to each other because this is just like, yes, this is like my comfort zone. This is what I consider my good poetry. And then this, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is new. I don't understand. Ooh, okay. I feel like this one's a bit intense. I don't know if I should share this one. I will share this bit, which I don't know what this is going to turn into, but it's going to go back in the, like, cooking order. It's very amusing to me. I'm very expressive when it comes to words, and my partner is the exact opposite. He shows his feelings through actions, smiles, and is terrible with his words. Oh, homie, I know exactly how that goes. I dated somebody like that, and like, yeah, balance is key. Absolutely. I think that as long as you're both, you know, working on understanding each other, that's great. Like, that can be really, really healthy and really good in your relationship. Share whatever you want and are comfortable with, but remember that we will support you no matter what you're going through. Oh, thank you, Yomi. There's actually a really beautiful movie about two partners that are very, very different in like similar ways. Like it's literally, okay, so all the people in the movie are like made out of elements. Like you have the fire people and the water people and the earth people and the air people. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. The main characters are a woman made of fire and a man made of water. And it's literally all about that. Like people that have very different communication styles, learning to communicate with each other. And I think that that's really beautiful. So Yeah. Well, we've been together 11 years now, so yeah, we've definitely found what works for us, and I hope other couples are able to find their balance. Hell yeah, that's a hell of a like achievement, homie. 11 years with another human being, that like denotes a level of commitment and like willingness to work on a relationship, which is just honestly impressive, homie. Like, wow. My partner showed me Elemental and sat down and watched it, and I bawled. Such a sweet movie. Oh, fuck yeah. I'm glad you've already watched it. Hell yes. It's such a good movie. I want to watch it again. And it also, like, I feel like there's not a lot of stories like that about, like, immigrant families. Like, especially immigrating to places like America, because I don't know, I got very America-ish vibes from the city. But yeah, I don't know, it's a really, really cool movie. Okay, so Pride Can Crumble, Floor Length Mirror. I think that's last stream. Old spills by dirt and debris replaced. Accepting I'll always be perceived as strange. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I like it, but I don't understand it yet. Accepting I'll always be perceived as strange. I feel like that's a part of a different poem. I no longer scramble for your validation, and on the other side of that needy desperation, I see that scarcity had less to do with whether or not I was deserving of your station, and more to do with your inability to be kind. I feel free in this I feel freed by a new peace of mind. I'm moving forward with my life, no longer dreaming of magical rewinds. Is it okay to use no longer twice in a poem? Because I kind of like the fact that I'm opening with no longer and finish. Can I say just no longer here? Like, no longer scramble for your validation. I no longer scramble. No, I like that. I no longer scramble for your validation. And on the other side of that needy desperation, I see that scarcity had less to do with whether or not I was deserving of your station, and more to do with your inability to be kind. I feel freed by a new peace of mind. I'm moving forward with my life, no longer dreaming of magical rewinds. Yeah, I fuck with it. I fuck with it as it is, homie. Now, what am I gonna title it is always the question. I like that line. Poetry doesn't have rules, sweetie. Repetition is one of my favorite tools in poetry. Y'all are both right, and I need to listen to you, because, yes, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do anything a certain way unless you want to. Thank you, Yomi. And thank you, Vivi. And Vivi, you reminded me that, like, one of my favorite poems that I've written is Nip, which, like, 50% of it is just like, I am not. So, yes. It's like over and over, like, I am not this, I am not that. Absolutely. Like, what do I call this? Can I call it emotional scarcity? Also, why is this a different font? There we go. Do I capitalize both of them? No, I don't want to capitalize scarcity. Scramble for your validation. By a new peace of mind. Does freed? It doesn't have an apostrophe, does it? I feel freed by a new piece of... let me just Google that. Freed in a sentence. Okay, yeah, I'm using that correctly. I love that you give your poetry titles. I could never. Yeah, mostly it's honestly just like a system for myself to organize them. So when I read the titles, I can kind of get at what the fuck I'm saying. Because, like, yes, I'm writing because I want to connect, express myself, and share with others. But there's also an aspect of I want to be able to look back at my own poetry and be like, what was I feeling in this moment? Because I use this as a coping mechanism for when I feel emotionally overwhelmed. I like to read poems, sometimes that reflect how I feel in that moment, and sometimes that show me how I can feel better so that I remind myself that the moment is going to end. So, yeah, the titles help with that. Oh, remind me to yap to you about that when you're not busy. Oh, even having the title BGM for me is impossible. Yes, 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 please. We should talk about background music and we should talk about subtitles. And Yomi, if there's ever anything I'm doing that you're like, yo, how did you do that? Feel free to DM me. Like, I am very much about open source and like sharing information. Like, I'm all about that. Old spills by dirt and debris replaced. I wonder what it would feel like to be validated by them. Bonds I was born with, closeness corded into cords of DNA. Yet I do not know the notes to play. I wonder what it would feel like to be validated by them. Under the wing of my own mother hen. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Oh no, I meant I express my feelings by making music, like writing without words. So I wanted to see if you wanted me to make one inspired by you. Oh, like a track? I mean, homie, fuck yeah. I mean, ever since I started this poetry stream, we've had a few moments of like sharing art, like when we wrote that poem together with Triangle Toll when he edited Hide, and then Vivi made this fantastic live 2D model of me, which like what? I still have to figure out how to use the 2D studio thingies. Like I've never, but like yeah, I gotta figure that out this week. And now Yomi, you wrote me my favorite poems in the world. Like, yes, I am all for sharing art, collaborating on art. Like, I feel like creativity is kind of contagious. So, yes, please. You'll find me up at 3 a.m. with double headphones and too much caffeine making beats, as my partner says. Your favorite poem in the world? No, my favorite poems in the world, because you wrote two of them. What a goddamn honor. What the fuck? I mean, seriously, you made me cry live. I don't usually cry in front of other people. Well, apparently that's changing. Like, yeah, but I meant fair. Like, yeah. Seriously, I'm still like a little, like my heart is a little high from that. I wonder what it would feel like to be validated by them under the wing of my own mother hen. Words fall on deaf ears, so I pick up the pen, my ink bleeds. Bonds I was born with, closeness coded into cords of DNA, yet I do not know the notes to play. You march along to their flashy displays, yet I can only dance to your utmost dismay. Oh shit. What did I do? Okay, I thought I deleted everything for a second. I was my heart. I didn't cry writing it, but damn, I cried when I heard you crying. Yeah, apparently crying is also contagious. Like, ah. I wonder what it would feel like to be validated by them. Under the wing of my own mother hen, words fall on deaf ears. Well, on deaf ears, so I pick up the pen, illustrating. Hmm. Hmm. No, I'm gonna put this one down here. Words fall on deaf ears. Feathers revealed to be spears. I don't know if that's too cryptic, but like, we fucking with it for now. Under the wing of my own mother hen. Darkness pulls around me, so I pick up the pen. Words fall on deaf ears. Feathers revealed to be spears. My ink bleeds. Friction picks up speed. Elemental particles crackle. Oh, I want to say something about like the process of how lightning is produced in rain clouds, of like the positive and negative charges like going together. Like that's how I'm thinking about these feelings. Does reading chat bring you out of your creative zone? Not in the slightest, honestly. Like that's something I was concerned about when I started doing poetry streams, but like nah. My creative flow depends. Well, I've been doing this for a very short amount of time, but it seems to depend on how much I can connect to my feelings. And honestly, talking to other people makes me connect to them more, which is when like I feel too emotional and I need to calm down. Like I usually try to get to a place where I'm alone because that's when I feel less. So yeah, no, if anything, it helps to have people to talk to. We love when Live 2D won't even import the art I just finished. No, Vivi! No, I'm so sorry. I admire that you're able to stream writing. I like being alone when I write. It's interesting. I mean, I do both. I write different things when I'm alone. I mean, sometimes I write the same things, but like it's different. Like it's a different flow to write when I'm live versus when I'm alone. But I'm happy I'm able to do this because that was also something that stressed me out when I did the first poetry stream. I'm like, am I even gonna be able to do this? Like, what if I try and I'm just like, I can't write a goddamn thing, and then I wrote 5 poems and I'm like, oh shit, okay, it is possible. I'm just trying to remember myself that even if I set the bar high one day, like how many poems I'm able to produce, like it doesn't matter. What matters is really just like spending time doing it. Any practice is good practice. Been my autistic hobby for a few years now. Ooh, hell yeah. I love seeing, well, hearing the process thoughts as you're writing. Oh, hell yeah. That's very validating to hear. Because, like, I know this is literally my stream, but sometimes I get a little bit in my head of, like, am I over explaining myself? But, like, literally, no. Well, not to be too forward, but if you ever need a place you're welcome to burst into in the middle of emotionally uncertainties, you have my Discord. Calling at 2 a.m. crying is welcome, despite us being new friends. Aw, Yomi! Well, thank you very, very much for saying that. Like, I really do appreciate it when people set boundaries and communicate like what they're comfortable with clearly. So seriously, thank you so much for talking. That's awesome. My autism gave me the music making and obsession with whisper reading. Yo, your whisper reading is lit. When I first like started hearing it in the stream, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is like ASMR. And then I'm like, huh, I've never given it a chance. And like 15 or 30 minutes in, I started feeling things in my heart, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is healing something in me. Okay, I like ASMR now. Like, I don't know if it has to do with, like, the fact that you're whisper reading or the things that you're saying or a combination of both of them, but, like, something about the vibe of your streams is just so nice and so relaxing, and it kind of puts me in a slightly meditative state of mind, which is why sometimes I forget to write anything in chat because I'm just vibing so hard. So, yeah. Friction picks up speed, elemental particles. Charging. Hang on, did I write something about lightning in my notebook? Oh, also, I have my notebook. I should really... And the electric friction sets my blood aflame. Arcing rays. Arcing rays. Fingertips tingling. How do any of us pretend to be sane? This might be a different poem. I'm not sure yet. Okay. I wonder what it would feel like to be validated by them. Under the wing of my own mother hen. Darkness pools around me, so I pick up the pen. No, not darkness pools. No, not this, not this, not this. Ink spills over my desk, so I pick up the pen. Words fall on deaf ears. Feathers revealed to be spears. My ink bleeds over wasted years. Friction picks up speed, mingles desire with need. Elemental particles. Any of us pretend to be sane. Okay, I'm putting this somewhere else for now. Ink spills over my desk, so I pick up the pen. Words fall on deaf ears, feathers revealed to be spears. My ink bleeds over wasted years. Friction picks up speed, mingles desire with need. Anxiety becomes my steed. Bonds I was born with. Closeness coded into chords of DNA, yet I do not know the notes to play. You march along to their flashy displays, yet I can only dance to your utmost dismay. So I have 4 rhymes here. Interesting. So I ended up with 3, 3, 3, 4. And this bitch just like hanging in there. But it's not the same as yours, right? You do voices and have an upbeat, bubbly personality, and that's something I would be jealous of. But I support you for being you, and I like me the way I am, but just remember we all have our values. Absolutely, homie. I think that there is so much value to be found in like building community and like recognizing, admiring, and lifting each other up for our differences while we also connect on what we have in common. Because like, yeah, that's just, you know, the spice of life. The fact that we all, different people, have different stories, different goals and values. Like, yes. Also, be warned, many of the ASMR streams on Twitch is not whisper reading. It's downright horny moaning and stuff. What? You have been warned, okay? Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. That reminds me, how old are you, Ika? Me? I am 29 years of age, excited to turn 30. Yes. I am told that's okay to ask most places in North America. I mean, yeah, you're fine. Some people get kind of weird with the age thing. Me personally, like, I'm cool with it. Like, I don't, yeah. I consider it an achievement that I've survived for 29 years. I got Live2D to import it. Yes! I split the art into 2 files and restarted Live2D. Would 100% head pat back if I had an emote for it for your poetry, Yomi. Yeah! Yomi deserves all the head pats. Well, I've only just started as well, but many people are saying, I wish you would stop whispering, but, like, that's what I do. Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's just a sign of success, honestly. Like, if you've reached the viewership density necessary for people to be like, yo, change your content to accommodate exactly what I want, like, yeah, I feel like that's a good sign, even though it's annoying and difficult to deal with. Because, like, I've seen a lot of creators that I fucking love that are massive, and they always have people, like, fucking shitting on them in the comments, so, yeah. I understand why at a certain mass of people, creators just, like, stop engaging in public spaces with their community. Oh, we're similar in age. I'm 26. Oh, hell yeah! It was disheartening at first, but I will prevail, persist, maybe? Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Like, okay, like, y'all know that I have spice brained. Persevere? Yes, persevere. I'll type it in the chat. Persevere. Wait, hang on. How do you spell persevere? I think it's like that. I'm like 90% sure it's like that. I swear English is my first language. But yeah, like, okay, I've read some stuff. Honestly, I'm gonna be spending less time on Twitter, partially because I've been reading some stuff that's just like, drama. I don't like the For You page on Twitter. I feel like it's a little, like, it gears me towards, like, negative things. I don't want to look at negative things. And yeah, just, like, comments about people with, like, autism and stuff, like, mental health issues, and I'm just like, this is kind of jarring to hear or to read. And I know that as I spend more time as a creator, I do have to, like, find a way of dealing with it, because I can't control other people's behavior, so the only thing I can control is, like, myself. But yeah, I think it's just a process. Like, I give myself some space to feel those feelings of, like, that was jarring, and, like, it made me feel icky. And then I think, okay, how can I minimize this in the future, or move past it faster? So yeah. One thing I did discover on Twitter is that I can be exclusively on, like, the following page. Like, just the people I follow, and see nothing else. So I'm pretty much just always on there now. It's funny because my For You section on Twitter is all Pokemon and VTuber events. No idea how I got all the drama off my page. Well, if you discover how, please share. Blessed, I suppose. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're blessed. I'm happy that your For You page is working for you, because that is what it's supposed to do. Yay. Okay, so feathers revealed to be spears. My ink bleeds over wasted years. Friction picks up speed, mingles desire with need. Anxiety becomes my steed. Bonds I was born with, but what? Bonds I was. Do I need to have both of these, like bonds I was born with and closeness coded into? I feel like closeness coded into cords of DNA gets the message across. Closeness coded into cords of DNA, yet I do not know the notes to play. You march along to their flashy displays. I can only dance to your utmost dismay. Okay. I wonder what it would feel like to be validated by them. Under the wing of my own mother hen, ink spills over my desk, so I pick up. Ink spills over our desk, so I pick up the pen. Words fall on deaf ears. Carefully chosen words fall on deaf ears. Oily feathers revealed to be spears. My ink bleeds over wasted years. Friction picks up speed, mingles desire with need, anxiety becomes my steed. Closeness coded into chords of DNA, yet I do not know the notes to play. You march along to their flashy displays. I can only dance to your utmost dismay. The first verse is long as fuck, but like, I fuck with it, honestly. I think phone scrolling and PC scrolling is done differently. Yeah? Pokemon and events on my phone and drama and stuff comes in through PC. That's all the advice I have. Oh, maybe I should spend more time on like mobile Twitter. This poetry piece is so pretty, Ika. It's so good. What the fuck, Ika? Write a book. Let me buy it and add it to my collection. I mean, at the pace I'm going, I will eventually be able to like write a book. But first I gotta like buy a poetry book because I don't own any poetry books. But I think I can buy some of them digitally. I want to support the indie poets that I keep reading on like my stream and stuff. Falls over our desk, I pick up the pen. Carefully chosen words fall on deaf ears. Oily feathers revealed to be spears. My ink bleeds over wasted years. Friction picks up speed, mingles desire with need, anxiety becomes my steed. I realize that I use a lot of the same words over and over, just like across my poems, but it's just kind of like the way I communicate, you know? Like, wait, this one has a different font too. Stop it! Stop changing the font. I want the same font. I only wanted to change for the like the titles. The titles have to have different fonts. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, paste. What am I calling this though? What captures the vibe? I could just call it DNA. Closeness coded into... That's like my favorite verse of this whole thing. Closeness coded into chords of DNA. We call it DNA chords. DNA chords. I don't know if you call them chords or not, but that makes sense to me. It's like when I look at DNA, it's like the spiral thing, right? For some reason, that screams instrument to me. Is it a thing? No, DNA chords is like a music thing. Okay. Do you have any advice for a newcomer in the writing and poetry scene? I mean, all my advice comes from also being a newcomer in the writing and poetry scene. I don't know shit about the community, just honestly. But so I think my approach to poetry is like my approach to art in general, in that there's a million different ways to do it. But you just gotta make sure that you're doing it in a way that's sustainable to you. It's like, since I've started writing poetry, I've noticed the impulse to like either do it all the time or like pressure myself to do it. So I'm just kind of like pacing myself. Strands, spirals, threads. Yeah, see, those seem like words that fit DNA chords, like DNA better than chords. But I specifically want to use chords because it flows into, yet I do not know the notes to play. So yeah, I just hope that chords is close enough to strands, spirals, and threads that it'll get there. Like tapestry, binding, connecting. Oh, hell yeah, homie. You just like inspiring the fuck out of me. Can I just like copy this? Like, excuse me. Let me just find this thing. Oh wait, this is not the... Let's go up here. Oh, never mind. Can I go... Is this the home button? This is not the home button. Okay, excuse me. Strands, spirals, threads, tapestry, binding, connecting. Yes, I love all of those. So yeah, as I was saying, just like trying to do it in a way that's sustainable. I don't know if you've watched this anime called Blue-Eyed Samurai, but there is a part of Blue-Eyed Samurai where they talk about the nature of being an artist and like a true artist, and I really fucking resonated with it. Because, like, he's like, an artist just 100% dedicates themselves to their craft. And this young person's like, yeah, well, that's what I've been doing. I do that and nothing else. And he's like, no. You eat good food so that you are able to have fuel to do what you do. You read the sutras, because I believe this was set in like feudal Japan. Because like that's something that helps you improve your art, and just like basically you have to like live a full balanced life. So like yes, when I started writing poetry, there was an impulse to spend a lot more time on it. But I have been exercising self-control in prioritizing what I eat, when I go outside, when I go on walks, and like how much I socialize with other people, and that improves my poetry. Like if I'm doing the things to take care of myself, my poetry gets so much better. I feel like I gave general life advice instead of poetry advice, and I apologize for that, but it's literally like the thing that's helped me the most. I accidentally doubled the layer limit for Live 2D in my brain. Oops, just gonna make 2 half-body models and attempt to make it work. Font changing in a doc is the worst. Yes, Phoebe! I wish I could just automate this somehow. I thought you were asking the opposite. My bad. No, you're good, homie. I have watched all the anime, Ika. Shh. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. Yes, that's so good. Oh my god, it was so enlightening. Really got to connect me to my roots, you know? Oh yeah, because you're from Japan. Oh yes! I'm so proud of you for taking care of yourself, Ika. You're doing great, and you inspire me daily. Ah, thank you. That's you're being too kind to me today, Yomi. I don't know what to do with myself. I really like this. Strands, spirals, threads, tapestry, binding, connecting. Ooh. I want to say something about like weaving a tapestry together. Something about differences that used to make me spiral. Using those as the threads that bind us together, connecting our narratives into a... Ooh, what do I call D&D all the time? D&D is a collaborative storytelling thing. I don't know how I want to do this yet, but there is something here that I will write eventually. Yes, Japanese immigrant to North America. Learned it's very cold and social here. Yes, the American continent gets very, very cold and very, very hot. Laid back is a good word for it. Yes. Also, the soundtrack to Blue-Eyed Samurai. Oh my god, I fuck with that soundtrack so much. Oh my god, like I will just play the whole thing start to finish. Mizu's Sweet, like the first song. Sorry, I feel like I'm snapping my fingers too much, but I'm stimming. Like, yes, I love it. It's my favorite song. Did I copy this one? The validation one? Because I don't know if I want to... Oh, I did. Emotional scarcity. Okay. So we're going to delete it from up here. Did I also copy this one? Pain, tempers, spite. That one's from Triangle Tool. Yes. Okay, so we confirmed that this one's done. We wrote 2 poems so far. Very productive. Stem all the way, cutie. Thank you. Is it rude to ask if you ever want to collab on some writing together? Not now, of course, we're both busy, but sometime in the future? I don't think that's rude at all. Like, okay, I'm learning that there are eggshells, and I'm just thinking about whether or not I want to step on them, because, like, yes, I've gotten some strange responses from asking questions on, like, streams and stuff, and, like, I'm just trying to learn what the fuck the rules are. Like other people's streams. But yeah, no, like, I'm cool, like, just go ahead, ask, homie. I'm totally cool with it. It would be imposing on your life and schedule, hence, like, rude. Yeah, but, like, I'm free to say no, you know? And, like, but I'm not saying no, I'm saying yes. Just to be clear, to be very clear, Yomi, I am saying yes. Like, I fuck with you as a person, and your writing is So gorgeous. Like, my favorite poems. I will hammer this the fuck home. Solid point. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, I want to do something with this one. I refuse to let you carry. The air is cold out here. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. The pocket ripped a long time ago, but I fail to thread. What do you call the needle hole? Needle hole name. Please don't come up with something filthy. Thank you. The eye. Okay. The hole near the tip of the... Okay. Is there another word for needle eye? Opening aperture orifice. What is a synonym for an opening aperture orifice? Okay. But I fail to thread. Can I just say the needle? The air is cold out here. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Oh, but I said pocket here and here. Do I like the repetition though? Sweets spill out my coat pockets. The fabric ripped a long time ago. Ooh, hang on. I want to say there's just two things clashing together in my brain. Trying to force me to kneel because it rhymes with it, but it's, hang on, you'll see in a second. Trying to force me to kneel, yet my knee popped out of its socket. Because socket rhymes with pockets, that's why this came out, but this is a different poem. Sometimes my brain does that. Eyelet? Oh, I was close. Narrow gate, yet the needle still waits in place. Oh, that's really clever, Ika. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know which one of the 10 things I said in the last few minutes you're talking about, but yeah. Yet the needle still waits in place. Trying to force me to, my knee popped out of its socket. That might fit here. Hang on. The air is cold out here. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Can I just put that here? Trying to force me to kneel. Get my knee popped out of its socket. Maybe I want to say that instead of the fabric and needle thing. Because like I was talking about the fabric of the pocket, but like now I've moved on from the pocket entirely. Me also rambling with you. You bring it out in me. Oh, hell yeah. I'm happy I do, homie. The air is cold this time of year. The air is cold this time of year. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Trying to force... Trying to force me to kneel. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Icy winds force me to kneel, but icy winds forced me to kneel, but my knee popped out of its socket. I learned to walk all over again. Stability of a baby. Stability of a foal. Why the fuck is a foal? Oh, it's a baby horse. Potro. Potro. I forgot that potro was a word in Spanish to call someone who's hot. Like, dale potro, amigo. Which is weird. Why would you call someone attractive a foal? Like a baby horse? How did that begin? I need someone to explain that to me. But I'm terrible at rhyming. Tried to rhyme gate and place. Bro, but that rhymes. Gate and place. Doesn't it? No. Wait, hang on. mean, you can make that work. Baby horses are cute. Little awkward things trying to find their place in the world. Like, yeah, that's the imagery I'm going for. Again, English is hard. I mean, homie. Look, I'll be honest. My memory is already kind of fucked, and I keep forgetting that your first language is not English because your writing is so spectacular. Spectacular. Like, I get so excited about it, I can't speak correctly. I learned. I'm not happy with this yet, but like, we'll figure it out. I refuse to let you carry my pack, but I promise if it gets too heavy, I'll ask for your hand. Oh, I already made this into an image, so it should not be here. I mean, sometimes the poetry is very simple. I don't know, but I can learn. I consider that a poem. Some structured poets may fight me on it, and they can try. I will not engage. Making presents from your cold. And suddenly Christmas. I learned to walk all over again. The shaky legs of a foal. Shaky legs of a... I feel like that's gratuitous though. It's like a foal already evokes that imagery of the shaky leg. So what am I actually trying to say here? Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Icy winds forced me to kneel, but my knee popped out of its socket. I learned. Oh. It's a year. It's time of year. Kneeling out of its socket. Weird way to say it, but I agree. That's so kind. I think of it like this. You like my writing and you're my inspiration, so just know that you doing your own Ika thing, that makes me want to write pretty things. Thank you. I'm glad that I can inspire you to make art. Cause yeah, like literally you're inspiring me to make art. Like, yes. Like your company and the conversation. Like, yes. God, the complimenting is coming out of me. I'm sorry. Not gay, just pure adoration and pride. I mean, you're fine, homie. Don't worry about it. I am... Something I've learned about myself at the end of last year and the beginning of this year is that I am very extra with my platonic relationships. And I am learning to temper myself. Because I can make people uncomfortable with how hard I go into platonic relationships. Because, like, I'll, you know, want to hug people and cuddle them and tell them that they're amazing and I love them and, like, why they're so great. And some people can, you know, take that not in the way I'm intending it to be taken, and, like, in a romantic way. And I'm just like, no. No, thank you. This is platonic. Because, like, when I'm romantic, I'm, like, extremely direct about that. But yeah, so, like, honestly, thank you for allowing me a space, like, with you as a person to just express myself in that way and just be like, yo, you're amazing, and, like, not take it that way. And, yeah, honestly, it does add a level of, like, security in that sense that, like, I know you have a partner and stuff, so, like, I know it's not going to be taken in that way. So, yeah, but I just want to be clear about it. You are the most extra person I know. Oh, thank you. I try. That is exactly what I'm talking about. And now I'm shy and embarrassed. Oh no, don't be shy, Yomi. You're fine. Like, literally, you're so cute. Oh, you're making me blush. You want to be my friend? But I thought we already were friends. Like, if we're not, do you want to be friends? Like, just apply the kindergarten rule of, like, you want to be my friend? Like, honestly, I do miss that. We are friends, silly. Oh, okay, cool. I thought I was misunderstanding something. Okay, let's get rid of the full thing. It's not working. In learning to walk all over again, I made presents from your coal. I refuse to let you carry my pack.
I want to say something about like it's not for you to reach my goal, but that doesn't flow. I refuse to let you carry my pack. Shh, 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 shh. I refuse to let you carry my pack. You can watch the struggle unfold. But I promise if it gets too heavy, I'll ask. I'll reach out for your hand. But I promise if it gets too... Maybe this is like a different thing? I don't know. Let's see. How does this flow? The air is cold this time of year. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Icy winds forced me to kneel, but my knee popped out of its socket. How can I say that like it tried to force me to kneel without saying it tried to force me to kneel? Pinky promise? Is that what it's called? Yes, it is a pinky promise. What does that mean? You have my seal of friendship. Yeah? Wait, what does that mean though? I read oh wait, no, this is katakana. I struggle with the katakana, but I know that the last one has o and then a kanji I don't know and su. Osu. I need to teach you Japanese so you can teach me English. Homie, whenever you want. I am so down to be taught. Yes, please. 教えてください. I am very passionate about languages to the point that I've never been able to study a language with anybody else because I go too hard. But being taught by people, I feel like I would be very good at that. Okay, what if it's not force me to kneel? Icy winds. Where am I going with this metaphor? Something about feeding the urge to kneel. Feed the urge to kneel. Ooh, hang on. I'm thinking about rules now. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Ravenous rules. Feed an urge to kneel. Okay, go away, icy winds. Sweets spill out my coat pockets. Ravenous rules feed an urge to kneel, but my knee popped out of its socket. Okay, that is more what I'm getting at. So basically, I'm going for I don't know how to explain what I'm getting at. So it's basically like the air is cold, like the vibes, like the people, the environment, it feels chilling, like I don't feel safe out here. Sweets spill out my coat pockets, like little pieces of me that I would like to share. They're just coming out beyond my control because the pocket's ripped. I don't know how to work that in yet. Ravenous rules feed an urge to kneel. I'm kind of too obedient for my own good, so that's what that's about. But my knee popped out of its socket, but I'm unable to comply with these rules. Stamping. Oh, stamp. Okay. Ika makes me smile every time she recognizes new things. Stamp or osu is what I was getting at. Just trying to know how to word it like a friendship promise, like make it official. Oh, yeah. Okay, I love that. And this will also be copied into our chat. Yes, because I will be saving this. Yeah. Okay, I like where this is going now. I didn't know how this poem was starting, but like, okay, it's getting somewhere. My knee popped out of its socket. In learning to walk all over again, I made presents from your coal. I've refused to let you carry my pack. just watch the struggle unfolds. I refuse to let you carry my pack, just watch the struggle unfold. See, sometimes I want to explain more stuff about like what I'm getting at in my poems, because like this has to do with like my life story and stuff like that, like the fact that the sweets, you know, what I just said about like them being things that like I want to share. I consider them things that I like about myself, that I want to be out in the world, but they're just like coming out against my will at this point. Presents from your coal. I refuse to let you carry my pack. Just watch the struggle unfold. But sometimes when I write a poem, I'm like, I cut things away from it, and I'm like, it's enough as it is. Me popped out of its socket. Like some poems are poems where I want every step of what I'm saying to be understood, and sometimes it's just vibes. So I'll call this one Ripped Pockets. And I will capitalize both of them. I think this poem is about the time in my life where I was like struggling and like asking for help and like not getting the help that I needed or wanted, or not being able to recognize what I needed. So that's what I made Presents from Your Coal is about. Like this, what I was getting was not helpful, but I was still expressing gratitude and appreciation for it. Ika-chan, you can always share about yourself, but please don't feel like you have to, okay? Oh, absolutely. So thank you for the reminder, Yomi. I actually have a sticky note on my screen that's like has two questions that I try to ask myself all the time, especially when I'm live, which is, do I feel comfy sharing this? And will this hurt anyone? And then under that, it says, I am just one more bitch on the internet. Yeah, just to kind of remind myself that, like, I don't have to share, like, exactly what you said. And also to remind myself that it's not that deep. Like, the things that seem super, super, super important to me are not going to be that important to most other people, and that's okay. Because, like, we all kind of live in, you know, our own life, and, like, I don't know how y'all think about it, but you know how people say, like, everybody's the protagonist of their own life? Like, that kind of vibe. And honestly, I aspire to be a secondary character in everybody else's life. I don't want to be the protagonist of anybody else's life. Like, I want to be that bitch who's in a cottage, like the witch that's making tea, and like she just drops some banger advice to the MC. Just like, this will fix your entire life. And then she goes on with her life and nothing bad happens to her. None of the main storyline conflict touches her. She just living her life, gardening and shit. Like, yeah, that is what I want to be to everybody else. That's an amazing sticky note to have. Thank you. Be your own side character in your main character story. Yes, I mean that's kind of what I'm working towards. Yeah, I just want everything to be chill. Okay, so how many have we written today? So process was already written, but like I'm counting it anyway because like we confirmed it. And then Ripped Pockets we wrote from scratch, and then DNA Chords 1, 2, 3, Emotional Scarcity 4, and then Home would make it 5. Cool. Remind me to Google the connection between moths and mushrooms. Ooh, okay. I'll put it in the chat. Connection between moths and mushrooms. Mushroom for improvement. I fucking love puns, bro. I don't know enough puns for how much I love them. All right. Well, I think I am tutto finito with the writing. My heart that you actually reminded me. Yeah, because like I might be able to remind you later, but like that. Oh, hang on. I think the audio cuts out when I change scenes. So hi. But yeah. Like if it's written down, I will remember to remind you. or like whatever needs to happen. But if it's not written down, I just will not. My brain does not work that way. I wish it did, but it does not. Okay, there we go. I can actually see like my own stream now. Hi. I love that shimmer effect on it. It's so pretty. I really, really love these overlays. I credited this man, by the way. He has like a lot of free stream resources if anybody's looking for something like just starting out, or if y'all want an update to your overlays. Like, yeah. And he's also available for commission work. I checked recently and like he was available. I'm thinking, you know, once the community grows and stuff, maybe I'll try commissioning some like custom overlays. I love this man's work. Just the attention to detail. It's just so artistic. Yes. I feel kind of privileged that I get access to this quality of free overlays. Do you have a community name? I'm still working on that. Ooh, I finally figured out what angle I want to go. I want to choose for my lore. So I'm going to start writing like VTuber lore. But yeah, like I've been calling my community members like my spores. But the community itself does not have a name. It's just like the Discord's called Inky Catnip. But if anybody has any suggestions, do feel free to comment or like at me in the Discord. Not me curious about your Oshi marks. Oshi marks? Oh, right, we have spores in common. Yes, because like you release spores that make your viewers like sleepy and stuff. And because I'm a mushroom, my viewers are spores. Like mushroom spores or mushrooms. Either of those works. You can be a spore or a mushroom. Yeet. The inky spores. I guess I could call the community like I don't know, something about a forest or a cave, because like I really like the idea of like a bioluminescent cave. Honestly, that's kind of like why I chose these overlays. The fact that, you know, my spore lore makes me want to cry. Oh, Yomi! We just tearing the fuck up on this stream. Like, yeah. Honestly, this has been such a good time for me. Like, yes, I've been dealing with some intense emotions this past week and this weekend, and I feel like this has been incredibly healing. I've really enjoyed talking with y'all, connecting with y'all, reading your amazing art, because like, goddamn, we had some amazing submissions. We can brainstorm in DMs if you want. Not trying to backseat writing. Oh, no, you're fine. I'll definitely be, like, posting ideas and stuff in the Discord and stuff, and we can definitely talk about it in DMs. I needed this today. My god, I adore your streams. Thank you, Yomi. Seriously. Okay, well, I am going to wind down. Let us select a song. I'm gonna play the song I was talking about from Given, the one that made me yell. I'm probably gonna be singing along the entire time, but I'm a little bit too shy to do that on stream, and I don't have a microphone that will not clip if I yell, so that's gonna have to be an in the future thing. But just know that if you sing along, I will be singing with you. So and now you have a moth in your chat clogging it up because I have the downtime. Hell yeah, homie. And I am so excited for your Lord of the Rings stream after. Yes, please, do you have a Discord yet? Because I would like a way to get like an announcement, like an like a notification when you go live. But if not, just please DM me and I will hop the fuck in. Anyway, thank you so much for coming today. If you would like to connect, I will leave the Discord link in the chat. If you would like to submit anything for me to read live on stream, please do. Please send it into the Discord. I will have a Google Forms thing eventually, but it's not set up yet. And if you liked any of the things that I read today, any of the creators, they will all be listed in the VOD. So I just need a little bit of time to track down their links and like put them in there, and then they will all be in there. So yes, please do follow them and support them. It will be this evening. I have a visit today, and then I will stream. I can add you personally if you want. Thank you, Yomi. Always love your reading and writing. Ika, thanks for a great great stream. Thank you for the banger conversation and for the amazing poetry. So, yeah, have an amazing rest of your day and talk soon. Bye.